For my author compare and contrast presentation, I chose to do it on Eugene Trivius, who was born September 8th of 1946, and he's still alive today. He has never been married. He's from Greece, and he has written 100+ books, and not all of them are written in English. And his books are intended for ages 6 to 10. The other author is John Skizeska. He was born September 8th as well, in 1954, and he's still alive today. He was born in Flint, Michigan. His parents are originally from Poland. He's married to Geraldine, and they have 2 children together, a girl, Casey, and a boy, Jake, and he has written 50+ books, and those are ages 3 to 9. And they both focus on children's fiction, and they're fantasy books. The topic that interests children, usually they're fairy tales, or they're dump trucks, or they are pertaining to science fiction, and they both use humor and suspense as their main idea behind the books. So Eugene's style of writing is narrative. He focuses on humor, he has subversives, he's multi-level complexity. They're not always easy to comprehend. And there's unexpected transformations of classic stories, such as The Three Little Pigs is actually The Three Little Wolves in his story, and he uses indigenous wordplay. John Skizeska's style of writing is creating a unique perspective to retell classic fairy tales, such as the true story of the wolf, and children were his inspiration. He wanted to write for them. He has humor, and he also writes nursery rhyme twists. So a comparison between the two are they both took on well-known fairy tales and created their own twist. Eugene wrote The Three Little Wolves, and The Big Bad Pig. There were 3 cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. And John wrote an excerpt from the true story of the 3 little pigs. Everybody knows the story of the 3 little pigs. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody has heard my side of the story, which is from the perspective as the wolf. So they both completely changed the well-known fairy tale of the 3 little pigs, and either wrote it as the wolves facing a big bad pig, or from the point of view of the wolf. I found more contrasting between the two. Eugene wrote to children, although it was for the understanding of adults that they could understand as well, and John wrote to appeal to children. Eugene, from his book The Last Black Cat, it was a whisper at first, but then we knew black cats were disappearing. Silktail was the first, then Whiny, Giuseppe, Ramesses, Blackie, Lothario, and Bijou. Some of these names appear more to be Greek, and that's why he wrote to the Greek audience as well. This book focused on the political parties and how much power they hold, and black cats were the main focus in this book. And John, from the expert from Smash and Crash, Jack Truck, Dump Truck Dan, Best Friends Jack and Dan. It was very short, precise, right to the point. There was no confusing names. They were common English names, and it wasn't confusing for young children to read. Eugene wrote books often about his own country's history, and even transformed most of his books to both English and Greek. And John wrote several books pertaining to several different topics, from the book Pegasus and Mendios, The Amazing Adventures of a Winged Horse and a Little Donkey. The Pegasus and the donkey were searching for Mount Olympus on the pages of the book. And John picture books, chapter books, graphic novels, story collections, novellas, and edited anthologies.